Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit. I am here to talk to you about Superman for All Seasons, which is a fantastic Superman story. It is my first ever Superman comic book. I've never really read them. When I was a kid, I read Ghost Rider comics, but I didn't really read them. I just looked at the artwork because I loved Ghost Rider. I thought he was just so cool looking. But I have always loved Superman. He is my favorite superhero from TV shows that I've watched of him and the Christopher Reeves movies and really, really old TV shows that I watched that had Superman back when I was young. I think I saw them on TV Land or something, but Superman for All Seasons is a really beautiful exploration of the dual life of Clark Kent and Superman, and it explores how he reconciles with that dual reality in a really beautiful way. There are 4 volumes, and each volume corresponds with a season of the year, and each volume is narrated by different people in Clark's life, whether it's his father for spring, who tells a wonderful, heartbreaking, and inspiring kind of story about his son, who showed up one day in a rocket pod and with a clock wrapped around him and all that. You know the story. And it skips right to his graduation for high school around that time, and the growing concerns that he has over his own power, and what Jonathan Kent does to try to support his son. And there are lots of interesting scenes to see Clark really coming into his powers and being scared of his powers, whether it's his super strength, his ability to hear through walls, see through walls, or his newfound ability to fly. He's worried, and his father doesn't know what to say to him, except that he'll always love him, as well as his mother Martha. Eventually, Superman does, or Clark Kent decides that with this power, he must use it to save people, though he does have some discussions with a priest nearby about whether that's possible or not. And he chooses to do that because he's a good young man with a good heart who's been that sounds bad, taught well by loving parents. And it's really fantastic. And then, of course, the next volume corresponds with summer. We've seen at the end of spring a little bit of action from Superman, and in some ways some interactions with Lex Luthor that upset Lex Luthor. And through this volume, we see Lois Lane tell the story of her fascination with Superman, her passion to get the headlining story in the Daily Planet, her work ethic, and her both professional and seemingly romantic curiosity for Superman. Here we see she's getting the latest scoop on some actions that some terrorists are taking to destroy Metropolis, and also there is a problem with a cam lab that she's trying to get a headline on, but she's quite frustrated that nothing interesting is happening because the stories that she's seeing available to her won't get her the front page. And I love that about Lois. She's very passionate and driven in that way. Of course, the interesting thing that she sees is that LexCorp automated robot protection units are going around trying to stop the fires, but Superman shows up because he recognizes that they're there just for the glory and they're not really going to do the job the way it needs to be done to actually protect people. It's more of a PR stunt for Lex Luthor, who's a bitter, cynical old man who feels that this city is his. And I love that duality, the complex relationship between the differing ideologies of Lex Luthor and this young man, Clark Kent, Superman, that is full of optimism and the desire to truly make the world a better place. And he sort of really embarrasses Lex Luthor multiple times in this story. And then we get chapter 3, Autumn, or as Lex Luthor likes to call it, Fall. He's got a sinister little plot because the woman that Superman saved from the chemical lab is a very good chemist, and he, shall we say, enlists her help, to put it in, legal terms. If we want to get real about it, well, I don't want to spoil what happens too much, but he enlists her help, and does a little bit of brainwashing too, some might say kidnaps and brainwashes her, but to create a sort of microbe that knocks everybody out, and could be lethal, I suppose. And this really confuses and frustrates Clark Kent, because as Superman, he, from what we've seen in this story, he's used to using his brute strength and his power to make a change, and to the adulation of the masses who are happy to have him around and love that he's there to save them and help them. But all his strength can do nothing when the entire city is passed out, dying, and there's only one man he can turn to, Lex Luthor, who just so happens to have somebody who can help. And that's exactly what Superman does. Lex Luthor sort of breaks Superman, makes him doubt, because Superman by himself could not save these people. For all his strength, all his responsibilities and powers and all of that. Oh, he's not Spider-Man. He doesn't say great responsibility. Well, anyway, you get what I'm saying. For all his strength, he could do nothing. He had to turn to the one guy he is ideologically, diametrically opposed to. And this sort of shakes the faith of Superman. This idea that he can't save everyone on his own, at least. And the fact that he had to go to Lex Luthor is, really rattles him. And then we get to winter. And he has returned home to his family and his girlfriend, Lana Lang, from high school, who he's become estranged from because they went their separate ways. She tells this story, and she really brings it home, and she thinks a lot about who Clark Kent is and who Superman is, and how underneath the facade of Superman, this wonderful hero, is Clark Kent, who does these amazing things, and is that Superman, even without the powers, so to speak. He is just that good of a guy, always willing to help, always willing to do things. And unfortunately, Smallville is facing a terrible natural disaster that threatens the lives of Clark Kent's loved ones. and others in the city, others in the town of Smallville. And Clark Kent has to do what he can as Superman to save his family and save others, bring them to the church, to keep them safe. And there's just this beautiful moment where everything comes together for Clark Kent and who he is as a person, and his final acceptance of his dual roles in life, that he can be Superman, he can help people, his faith is restored, and it's just so good. And he returns to Metropolis and kicks the crap out of a LexCorp machine and says, "Tell Lex Luthor I'm back." It's fantastic. I mean, I've told you the basic plot lines of it, but I really enjoy the artwork. I think that sometimes it looks a lot like Norman Rockwell kind of paintings, and it has beautiful shading. It looks like watercolor. But yeah, the artwork is phenomenal, and I have left out some good juicy bits for you to chew on for yourself when you get to it. It really does get at the heart of Superman, who I think Superman is. Even though he doesn't face any physical challenges, there's that emotional capacity that he has that is really well and thoroughly explored, and I just think it's a phenomenal comic book, and I look forward to reading more. I'm really happy I read this, and I'm wondering if you are still here at 12 minutes in, what Superman comic book should I read next? Next comic book I'm going to read is by Alan Moore. It will be the Saga of Swamp Thing, or the Legend of the Swamp Thing, or something like that, the first volume, because I've been very curious about it because of Super Eye Patch Wolf mentioning it in a video of his a couple months ago. Anyway, it's a really great comic book about Superman, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you.